St. Martin. Yeah. This is
My people of St. Martin, I'm Rolando Bryson, the number 5 candidate on the United People's Party. As many of you know, I've been the only voice over the last 4 years that has championed your rights to be included in one of the most vital things in any society, which is the banking system. Over those 4 years, I was able to keep the banks in check, make sure that they wouldn't introduce new fees, that they would start to treat you better, bring legislation to make sure that everybody has a right to a bank account. But what have we seen in the last 6 months since I've left Parliament? We've seen almost a week after the election, new fees are introduced. We see our seniors being treated worse and worse by our banks. And the situation is not going to get better unless the voice that has been there to enforce what government is supposed to do to treat you as a citizen with respect and demand that of the banks, without that voice, my people, we're only going to get worse and worse when it comes to banking in our country. In my time in Parliament, and even if I was the lone voice,
who we voting for? We voting Lyndon Lewis, number 3 on our list. We voting Lyndon Lewis. Who we voting for? We voting Lyndon Lewis, number 3 on our list. We voting Lyndon Lewis. Equality, number 3. Integrity, number 3. Transparency, number 3. Reuniting families, honorable, number 3. Dependable, number 3. Responsible, number 3. Working for all of we.
My name is Dr. Agnes Gracita R. Arundel, number 6 candidate on the URSM slate. My main objective as a Deputy Minister Plenipotentiary in The Hague are to secure housing options for students in the Netherlands, introduce voting rights for students and St. Martiners living in the Netherlands, and to continue to pursue funding opportunities for St. Martin in Europe. My slogan is competent, caring, and compassionate. Your number 6 candidate on the URSM slate, Gracita R. Arundel. Elect us on August the 19th and make St. Martin beautiful again.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Dick. Okie dokie, kids, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? We begin with the news of the Dutch Quarter situation might have come to an end. Why? Because the parliamentarian of everything decided to stick his nose into it and allowed the parties to come together and talk this thing out before it escalated, before anybody else get hurt. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why Omar Otley, why this parliamentarian is the one that have to put these people together? Why couldn't this be another politician? And the answer is very, 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 very simple. I don't know. I don't know. It's just what I received as a press release. I was pretty much surprised. You're seeing the police chief and you're seeing, representatives from Dutch Quarter just like shaking hands, going like, everything is A-okay, we're going to hold it down and you guys going to hold it down. Therefore, we both holding it down. And then you have, of course, Batman, Minister of Justice, and also the parliamentarian and leader of the UP party, Omar Otley. They are sitting at the conference table, just setting up meetings and getting things. Like I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand this cross-party politics bullshit. It's the most surprising thing ever, especially during an election campaign, because the question now is, who do you vote for? Lyndon Lewis, Omar Otley? Which one it is? Is there options? Is it the same? Are they in the same party? What's going on? Which one it is? And they're just like three number under three under now, and the next one like one under up. Coalition? Or you gotta let Chris know what's going on, you know. Either way, it is good news. At least we won't have any problems so far. At least until further notice, or never again when it comes to the lovely district of Dutch Quarter. Let me see. In other news, what's happening else on the lovely Isle of St. Martin? Hey, get your stats ready. Get your pen and paper. We are diving into what we call the numbers games. Yes, the numbers for the 19th of August elections. It's very important for you to know how many people can vote, where they're voting, where are the districts. And we have the breakdown for you. We're going to call this segment the breakdown. All right? No. Let's do it the breakdown correctly. Now, as far as men is concerned, the dogs, the men is concerned when it comes to the voting registry, there are 10,728 voters, male. That means the guys, the fellas, the gents. 10,728 strong. Yeah, nobody could beat us. Wait a minute. The female voters, the women, the girls, the chicks, the madams, 12,119. So 12,019. That is the number for females. That means simple mathematics. Who run the world? That just shows it. They run things. Like women run things. So, because the females overpower the men as far as the voters registry is concerned, you can imagine that everybody wants to cater to those 12,000 women that they have out there. The only problem is, and that's why they have so much parties, they don't know what they want. So because they don't know what they want, we end up with 2x4s and other parties and mix up and all kind of weird people representing us. Because women primarily decide who goes into office because it's 12,000 of them. You want to be equal, right? You want to be equal? Be equal, right? So that means you have to equally take the blame for the shit that is going on right now. I just saying, because, yes, there's more women voters out there, so all feminists going like, yay, we decide our future, yay. So that means we're the one who put them in there. Oh, wait, yay, hold on, shucks. Yeah. And of course, the fellas, 10,728. We have to do better. We have to do better, guys. It's time that we do a campaign and we mix up with the female voters and we make young voters so we'll have more. To increase the population, guys. It doesn't happen by just wishing about it. You gotta put in the work. You gotta put in that ballot. Get it? You gotta stick in the vote. You gotta put it within the circle. Okay, one more. Yeah, put a pen inside. Okay, that's it. That was the last one. Because I know kids watch. Let's continue. Now, the total number of registered voters per polling station is as follows. So the John Lamley Center, we have 935. That's 935. For the Sundial School, we have 1396. That's 1396. St. Martin's Senior Recreational Center, we have 1446. Sister Maliraran School, 1443. Dutch Quarter Community Center, 1,434 votes. Hold on there. Dutch Quarter, 1,434 votes. No wonder every politician and their mother want to go and save Dutch Quarter. I understand now. Then we have the Milton Peters College with 1,435. That's MPC, that's South Reward. Then we have Rupert Maynard Community Center in St. Peter's, 1,425. That's quite a number. St. Martin Academy has 1,405 voters registered. The Mute Hotel has a stunning 1,463. English Road, stand up. Then we have the National Institute for Professional Advancement, the NIPA. They also have a strong registration there. That's 1,427. That's 1,427. Then the Charles Leopold Bell, 1,288. The Leonard Carter School, 815. The Simpson Bay Sports Community Center, 1,117. Then Belvedere continues to be a big polling station, polling district with 1,475. The Melville Hazel Sports and Recreational Center has 1,438. The Methodist Agokek Center, that's the MAC, 1,248. Then the Seventh-day Adventist School has 918. That's where Kevin votes. Then the Hersan Bawaring, which is the prison, the Point Blank prison, has 65 votes. Krisha, congratulations. And of course, the St. Martin home, we have 67. Congratulations, Sarah. Did you know that Sarah was the one who originally opened the old folks' home? Okay, so she had like a relationship with somebody called St. John, and you know, there was kind of like on and off, and then afterwards they was like, you know what, we're gonna make it work. So then they start to live in St. John's, and then Sarah was like, I think we should open an old people home, and St. John was like, no problem, babes. And then Sarah was like, okay, and then she opened it in the 1300s. The things you don't know about St. Martin. Yeah. They actually have pictures. No, okay, that's too much. I'm pushing it. The closure of the voters registry with the 22,747 registered voters reflects as an increase of 167 additional voters compared to this year's January 11th elections. Okay, so only about 167 persons were added to the list, making the number of voters eligible 22,000 and change. Now, let's break it down and see who to blame for the chaos all these years in St. Martin. But before we do the breakdown, we gotta take a commercial break. Let's start with our first one. Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.
And I fall on my knees. Tell me how to wait to be. Tell me how to wait to go. Tell me all that I should know. And I'll fall on my knees. Tell me how to wait to go. Tell me how to wait to be. To evoke some empathy. And I'll fall on my knees. Tell me how to wait to go. Tell me how to wait to see. Show me all that I could be.
Make the switch. Get faster internet for less.
At GEBE, our commitment extends beyond utilities. It's about exceptional service. Meet the heart of the operation, the customer service team. With a friendly voice and a helping hand, we're here to address your concerns. Whether it's a billing question or a technical issue, we're dedicated to finding solutions. Your satisfaction drives us. We listen, we act, and we make a difference. GEBE, the power to serve.
The new Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Animal Husbandry. Government must give the necessary attention to develop this new sector. They must acquire support from the right stakeholders. The necessary attention to develop this new sector entails building and operating the ministry at the level required to secure sustainability for the sector, securing land for agriculture, and creating a commercial fishing fleet which will be licensed to fish on the Saba Bank. Support from the right stakeholders entails cooperation from stakeholders like the University of Wageningen, develop saltwater or brackish water agriculture, container farming, and garden farming. Develop cannabis farming with local participation only. Create a locally owned and operated commercial fishing fleet based on local private-public partnerships. Create and facilitate fish, shrimp, and lobster farming in the lagoons and or the coastline. On August 19, 2024, vote for Claudius Anthony Buncamper, your number 2 candidate on the Now Party.
Let's continue the breakdown. Welcome back to Late Night Show. All right. So we are looking at the numbers of the parliamentary voters registry. Well, I should say the voters registry of St. Martin. It's in reference to the parliament snap elections that we have set for the 19th of August. We are going to find out which race, which nationalist are responsible for all this craziness that is happening in St. Martin. At least we're looking to blame somebody, right? Don't blame Suriname. That's all I'm saying. Suriname is the best one. Do not blame them. Everybody else, okay. Suriname, the best. We come save you. That's what I say. I just say that. Let's go. Amerikaanse Maagdelen Landen. Oh, that's the little Caribbean islands that belong to the States. 99 of them? Okay. So in Anguilla, we got 359 persons that can vote from Anguilla. From Antigua, 60. Antigua and Barbuda, 12. Argentine, 7. Australia, down under, 5. Bahamas. For the Bahamas, we have 2 persons who can only vote in St. Martin. From Barbados, we have 47 persons. From Belgium, that's Belgium? Belgium? Okay. 7. Belize, Congo. Only 1 person from Congo. Belize, 1. Then we have the Bonds Republic, Duitsland. Of Duitsland, of course, we got 4 persons. Or 2? 2. Then Brits Guyana, 143. Let me just skip through all of these because this is annoying. Cambodia, 29. China, 98. Only 98 persons? Only 98? Okay, that's weird. Okay, Colombia, 67. Oh, that's a good number. Costa Rica, 1 only. Let me see which other big, okay. Dominica. Jesus! Hold on now, Dominica. What going on there? Dominica have a seat there almost, man. 820 persons can vote from Dominica. But what sauce is this? What's everybody going like, I have blood from Dominica, right? I got blood from Dominica. We got the land of many rivers. What's going on with Dominica? 820 voters. That's a lot. If you get at least 75%, you're guaranteed a seat. If you get all Dominica people, if I was Dominica, the Dominica Association in St. Martin, I would get a candidate and go like, listen, we gonna wash you in the water, in the river water, and you're going to be R1. You're gonna represent Dominica people here. Okay, because Skerrit can't come, so all you're gonna have to do is for him. All right. The Dominicana Republic, Santo Domingo, how many people? 1,420 blood clad. Ho, ho, ho. What? Santo got a seat and a half? How come we don't even have a full Spanish breed person in the legislature? 1,420 persons can vote from Santo here, and are you playing with them? Are you not? Anybody else that is big in numbers? Oh, Grenada is also big, 58. And then you have Britannia, Croat Britannia, 24. All right, let's go into the next one, the next breakdown, the breakity down. Guadeloupe, 1,855. Now, I think Friendside is included in it because the way that the system was back in the days that they used to, everything was Guadeloupe, even though it's Marigot, Guadeloupe, because the system centralized in Guadeloupe. So it's not like you do, it's a bunch of Guadeloupe people who don't know what the hell they're doing and they can vote in St. Martin. It's just that the way it's set up, most of those are Friendside voters. Right, Melissa Gums? Anyway, so Guadeloupe has 1,855. Then another big number is in Guyana. Stand by. That's 238. 238. Guyanese assemble! All Guyanese assemble, boy. Listen, make a roti Friday and call it a day and let me do this. 238 strong. All right, let's go to the Sac-Passé country, Haiti. They have 597. 597. That's another candidate they can literally put their support behind. I thought Haiti would have a little bit more, though. I ain't gonna lie. Next big group is India. India has 548 registered voters in St. Martin. That's 548, which is pretty interesting because yeah, actually, yeah, Cookie, all those Indian candidates always support each other. Yeah, no. Yeah, nah. That actually makes sense. Well, 400, 300, 500. Now Kutai tried to be the new Cookie. But Nikhil like, no, not so fast. Cookie endorsed me. Not so fast. It's my turn. Kutai like, nah, it's my turn. They are ready. Oh, should be interesting to see which one of the Indian descendants will be, embraced by the Indian community on St. Martin. Now they're going to have to go to every single uncle, sister, brother, birthday party, memorial dinner, and go like, hey, uncle, hey, okay, hey, namaste. All right. What else we have? Then we have a bigger group. Let me see. That is pretty interesting to look at. Oh, Jamaica. Yeah, not a fan. 294. Yeah, I get a Jamaica bun, so I kind of cross off all Jamaicans. So if you're Jamaican, don't talk to me. Don't want to talk about it. Next up, we have Montserrat. Montserrat have 36. Yeah, 36. The Netherlands. This is so discriminatory, though. Why do we have to distinguish between the Netherlands and the Netherlands Antillen, which is St. Martin is a part of? Yes, it doesn't legally exist, but still, like, we part of Holland. We belong to Holland, but we separating ourselves by saying, okay, Netherlands is one and Antilles is the next one. Okay. From Netherlands, they have 1,116. That means, Netherlanders, you can literally have a Macamba as a staatslit in St. Martin. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You know who would be good for you? the Orange Nabova party have Ray Peters. Oh no, he kind of cuss all you off after all you didn't make a minister. Well, you can adopt, get a Makamba, get one of you to one of the lawyers, and you know, it's a lot of you. 1,116. Come on, let's do it. Let me find a Dutch candidate and be racist. He has to be white, he has to be tall, he has to be cheap, and he has to have blue eyes and blonde hair. You have to go as Dutch as possible. Don't go for a black Dutch, because then they're going like, oh, you see, you're trying to just like ease one in on us. No. Tall, cheap, tall, purple eyes, blue eyes, and just like as Dutch as they come. Just come from Netherlands, just registered, and then elect asked to Parliament and go like, so your job starting next month is parliamentarian. You better go read up on these wonderful people. And let's continue the breakdown. And of course, Suriname. Let's go down to Suriname. Let me talk to my Suriname people, please. Allow me to just talk to my Suriname. Bewoners, luister goed. Luister naar mij. We gaan moeten zoeken, want Perry heeft het niet voor ons gedaan. We dachten dat we Perry hadden en Perry zou blijven, maar hij is niet gebleven. Je weet, hij is weggerend. Dus nu wat denk je dat we gaan doen? Moeten we iemand zoeken? Ik weet niet wie we gaan zoeken, maar we gaan iemand moeten vinden. Dus misschien moeten we een Bacabana sale doen of een Bami sale doen. Dan doen we misschien elke zondag. We krijgen wat iets en dan kijken we wie we kan zetten. Want dat is 502 van ons. We moeten iemand erin hebben. We moeten iemand erin hebben. Want dit is van ons op. Ze weten niet wat ze doen. Shucks, I forget they have more Dutch people here than Suriname people now. That means they understood every word I said. Ik hou van St. Maarten. I'm joking. Suriname people love everybody. We don't need somebody just us. No. It's just, we gotta support the wonderful St. Maarten politicians that you trust. Perry? No, you still don't want to. You still want to stay retired? Yeah, Sarah messed you up too bad. Okay. Ik begrijp het, mijn jongen. All right, let's continue. Trinidad and Tobago, 120. Soon, a little bit more. Too soon. Let me leave that alone. Then coming up next, we have another big group, Venezuela. That's 41. Okay, not bad, not bad. And then from the United States, we have 420. Those Americans. Hey, guys. Oh, that's 420 is not a bad number, you know. That's why Emily used to do it, because they have Americans here and they want to see other Americans in a Dutch country in Parliament for some reason. But they can also be there. Imagine somebody just, you know, standing on the floor of Parliament and going like, St. Martin, hear me and hear me now. I spoke to President Trump and I think he believes in the prosperity of all of us. And he was like, hey, this is the Netherlands. This is a Netherlands country partner. Stop being so American. I am American. Yeah. It would be the funniest thing. Please, let's get an American in Parliament. Then we have up next, we got the South Africa, 23. And then Switzerland, only one person from Switzerland. Jesus, that's a lonely voter. The grand total of voters in St. Martin is 22,747. That is registered for the next upcoming elections. Of course, not everybody is going to vote because the census office and the voters registry is, yeah, interesting. We never had 100% turnout. We had never had a 90% turnout. So therefore, that registry is very questionable. However, about 14, 15, 20 sometimes, no, not that much. 14, 15,000 persons usually is expected to come out and vote. Where are the votes going? Only you can decide on the 19th of August. That has been the breakdown. I hope that you understood that women are primarily responsible for the representatives that we have, because by 2,000 voters, they outnumber us guys. So if anything goes wrong, just blame the women voters in St. Martin, and the men could finally say, you want equality? This is your equality. Now choose your best representatives. I hope I was able to give you some, decent information, polling station, how much is registered. Every politician is now going to go and look at their roots and start to call up all of the distant relatives that they didn't call in so much years and say, hey, Wagwan, let me talk now. Late Night Show with Andrew Dick. We'll be right back. Up next, we got the throwback.
I know why they don't like La Cruz Francisco. Cause he giving people job opportunity. I know why they don't like La Cruz Francisco. Cause we voting number 4 for UP party. Yeah. He have the solution for black horse night and immigration policy. Vote number 4. Preparenting committee. Vote number 4. Introducing LNG. Vote number 4. Reconstructing ministry. Vote number 4. St. Peter's. You know ready? He gets it done for you.
It's time to raise the bar, let's take it to the top. It's time to choose qualified people to rep for ya. From the prisoners to senior, she's right here for ya. Can't forget the education, it's time for better. She's ready and she's focused to get the job done. SXM, the time is now, let us all vote for change. Shamira is the candidate to represent for us. She's gonna represent us locally and even to the Dutch.
Number 6, born ready all day. Years ago, of course, there was that fear, but it's come about at some time that the work that I've done in the past allowed me to feel a lot more confident that the people now also know that I'm ready, so that made me ready as well.
Welcome to the National Institute for Professional Advancement, where dreams meet education. At NEPA, we offer 9 exciting programs to help you reach your full potential. From our state-of-the-art culinary program, where you can master the art of cooking, to our hospitality program, preparing you for the dynamic world of service. Our electrical installation technician program offers hands-on experience and practical skills for a bright future. Our ICT program is designed for the digital age, and our general property maintenance program helps you craft a solid foundation in construction. Plus, gain real-world skills in our automotive technology program, with day and evening classes and validated certifications. Join us at NEPA, where your journey to success begins. Enroll now.
Say my day for this election. We voting for Jurendi Duran for governmental program.
Good day, as you know, on the road with Duran. Although this time is a bit different because we're not on any side roads. We're on the main road of Dutch Water. As you know, over the years, Dutch Water have been plagued with many issues for infrastructure. What you're seeing happening here now is with respect to the sewage network, which had some challenges over the last couple of decades. But indeed, as we move forward, we were able to reprioritize some funds in order to allocate enough funds to continue with this project. So what will be happening is we'll be bypassing certain pits in terms of getting the wastewater to the wastewater treatment plant with brand new pumps, which I was able to allocate in terms of my term as Minister of Bromi. to be able to see this project come to fruition. This is just a drop in the bucket for what is to come for the residents of Dutchwater, because as you know, as we continue, we also secured some funds for the home connections, which would alleviate the issue what we have where running water is on the road. So we're getting there step by step, and I'll continue to bring you the updates on the road with Duran.
Time for your throwback. Let's get back into it.
Flashback.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew. Okay, what's happening on St. Martin? A lot is happening. Of course, we continue to ride the roller coaster of this wonderful place we call St. Martin. And of course, the members of Parliament should be arriving back in St. Martin this weekend after spending a luxurious 10 days in the Netherlands, The Hague. And, you know, from what I understand, I was able to get some numbers. And the numbers, first of all, the per diem was 4,000 euros per MP. 4,000 euros. That's how much times minimum wage? 10 days of work, 4,000 euros. It's end of the month. That means they get paid. So it's 10,000 guilders plus 4,000 euros. Is how much, kids? A lot. But they work. Some kind of how. This is how it is. And of course, hotel stays. That's also in the package. And then they have, so that means it's 10 times 4,000 euros. And then the first class tickets. No wonder Art will have a headache. I understand. But at the same time, you know, no, I was trying to say something nice, but it didn't work. It's ridiculous. And these are the people that are going to go in different political parties for the next elections and then go like, we for here, St. Martin, we're one, we're together, we're one party. And as soon as they get into Parliament, I need to vote my mind, I need to, let's go independent. See you in the next 4 years, I guess. Stability at its best. Anyway, there's one person that worked for his money, and that is, of course, Savage Chris. He went off on the Dutch, and I just loved it because Chris don't care where he is. He don't got no bone. This is Chris in the Netherlands earlier this week.
Let me be frank and speak freely. You know, I sit in this room, and with all the intelligence of everyone that sits here, I still don't think that this part of the world understand and grasp the importance of what that side of the world, being us in the Caribbean, is talking about when it concerns the democratic deficit. I listened to the intelligence of the researchers, and there are so many proposals, the 3 proposals that you came up with. But with all due respect, they mean nothing if we don't tackle the statute. It is the foundation of the argument that we on this side of the world continue to make concerning the democratic deficit. When you look at the Faroe Islands in Denmark with the 2 seats, their constitution was changed to allow those 2 seats. When you look at Guadeloupe and Martinique, the French government changed their constitution to incorporate the different departments in their colonies. Here we are in 2022. From 1954 to 2022, the islands We are screaming, we are bawling, we are yearning for this side of the world to understand that something is wrong. And I have to agree with my colleague Raymond. Those proposals are far-fetched. As a matter of fact, it seems to be impossible. You know, there was a famous singer that lived in the Netherlands, Nina Simone, and she said, when you don't feel love at the table anymore, you have to get up and leave. I am not feeling the love that this side of the world understands when we talk about the democratic deficit and how we are the islands are being punished because we are so-called countries in a kingdom.
It's best Chris has just say, it's best he just had to say that. Just flip it, give it to them. Yeah. Gangster Chris. He's gearing up for his Now Party launch, so I guess he is representing us now. I can't wait for elections now. This is going to be a hoot. Also, earlier this week, the Prime Minister was at the UN, and she gave a speech about women in the Caribbean and women as, you know, the struggles of women in St. Martin, which I don't get because we had, what, we have three women prime ministers. I think we're doing good when it comes to equality. Right now, it ain't equal because we had more women prime ministers than men prime ministers. So I think we get in there, we in a good place, you know, got women CEOs. Well, no, that did not work out for Ms. Danielle at GB. They must have some other. We had Regina, yes, for a while. Okay, wait. I got to think on this. I got to ponder. But in any case, here is your highlight of the UN speech, which was a good speech. I must say, it was a good speech. It's Positive Friday.
Here, however, from 2017 with Irma, then into the pandemic, before recovering from that, and now into the crisis that we face every, June to November, it is something that we live with each day. And one of the reasons I believe that as women we have shown ourselves to be good leaders is based on the fact that all humans come with feminine and masculine characteristics. Over the years, historically, women have been downplayed as second-class citizens based on those characteristics. However, we're seeing that even men exhibiting these types of characteristics, nurturing, caring, compassion, have also shown themselves to be great leaders. And I think once we can embrace the good aspects of both masculine and feminine characteristics, which we all have, we will all be able to coexist and bring more equality to the table. For me, I've been inspired by the prime ministers and female leaders like Mia Mottley. I'd hope to see her here today, and others like the wife of the president, Miss Michelle Obama. Seeing them in those positions inspired me. I believe at times I am said to be too caring and have said to be too whatever other synonym for female we have. But then yet again, after the handling of Hurricane or then Tropical Storm Fiona, my population also was very happy with the way it was handled. And it was through constant communication, constant collaboration. I was chairing the Emergency Operations Center during the pandemic, as well as the recent hurricane. And there's a group of men and women that respect the decisions. They give advice. We are also, I think, better listeners. You hear, you take in the advice, you weigh it, and you make the decision that's best for the greater good of the population.
All right, so that was your Prime Minister, Sylvia Jacobs. Of course, she's back and continuing to steer the country. I'm trying to stay positive. So let me say something positive about our President of Parliament. I think that MP Krisha Heiliger continues to be the worst president of parliament in St. Martin history. Of course, she has to put a meeting for next week, whereby there is going to be a vote against or for her staying on as chair. The majority of parliament called the meeting just before they left for the Netherlands on their very expensive trip that we paid for. They have to vote now, get back to work. Hopefully, we could get all 15 members of parliament to show up for work, because all 10 of them decided to go to the Netherlands. So maybe they might continue the trend and go to work at 100% attendance. I know that's too much to ask, but it's going to be an election year very soon. So I'm sure that they'll try their best. So they are going to meet, and a vote is going to happen. Whether MP Krisha Heidegger has enough, we'll have to wait and see, because MP William Marlin is going to deal with his medical situation, because they had some months that passed. He had to go back into Parliament, make sure Save Sharendi, our Minister of Romi, and then now he can go back and take another 6-7 months. You know, that's how it goes, so that he could focus on his health. In the meantime, the numbers in Parliament is going to be very interesting, because it's going to be 7-7. So if a vote comes for the removal of the President of Parliament, Krisha Heidegger Martin, it would not pass, because it would be a block, 7-7. If somebody else from the opposition decides to support the government, then her ass is grass. So we'll have to wait. And I'm sure the grass is green on the other side. Sorry. I got it to myself and I was like, that's hilarious. Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin. Okay, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? A lot, and we have to take it into perspective. We have to just breathe and take in the craziness that is happening. The reason why I say that is because if you think the government is doing craziness, we have to go to The Hague. The government in the Netherlands decided to send a delegation, I think about 10 persons, including 2 state secretaries, to St. Martin and the rest of the islands to talk about slavery. Yes, I kid you not. Slavery. They want to talk about slavery. After how much 100 years? They want to talk about slavery. You see, I said it 3 times because I want you to understand that not only haven't they apologized for St. Martin being part of the slavery trade and building basically the Netherlands, but they just want to talk to us about it. Forget the fact that they've been giving us conditions. Forget about the fact that after Irma, the government decided to give us loans instead of grants. Forget about the fact that we were given money for the rebuilding of St. Martin, but it's through the World Bank because we are a bunch of corrupt suckers. So therefore, we can't handle our own affairs. But they want to talk to us about slavery. And of course, like a thief in the night, they came quietly, no big hurrah, just quietly. And they met with our ministers, Minister of Culture, our Prime Minister, and some cultural groups. They had some type of manifestation in Colby, across from the causeway. And they did a whole night of reflection. I don't know what the hell is going on, but some cultural groups decided to stick it to them. I'm still looking for the footage, so that's going to come eventually. However, the Prime Minister did make mention today in the Council of Ministers press briefing about this particular strange meeting. And for the life of me, I couldn't believe it. While sitting there, I just couldn't believe it, because I was like, these are the same slave masters who wants to just come and sit and let's have a discussion about it. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister of the Netherlands already made it clear that he doesn't need to apologize for anything. And of course, they know that once they apologize, we're going to be the first one to go like, show me the money! Because we're supposed to get back something for our ancestors just basically being property. I don't know. Anyway, the Prime Minister made the announcement today during the Council of Ministers press briefing, and this is what she said.
We did have a visit yesterday from the Dutch Minister of Home Affairs, Hanke Bruinslot, as well as the State Secretary of Kingdom Relation and Digitization, Ms. Van Huffelen, on a working visit to discuss with both myself, the Council of Ministers, and a cross-section of the community, which was organized by the Department of Culture in collaboration with the Secretariat of COM, to have a discussion on slavery. I must say, from the onset, it was a bit concerning that St. Martin did not play a pivotal role or contribute to the report that was presented in 2021, which was commissioned in 2020. We must remember that 2020 to 2021 was the COVID year, and so most things that were being done virtually in any case. St. Martin's participation, if any, was minimal, maybe 1 or 2 persons, and so we do not feel like a visit such as what was organized yesterday can constitute St. Martin being consulted on this matter. This was very much brought forward to the delegation and understood, and that St. Martin expects to have the opportunity to present its research and its position officially to the Second Chamber. And as such, whatever has been divulged, whether you've come to hear the sentiments, to listen and to understand what you see written on paper, that the delegation cannot constitute what they hear as that they have officially consulted St. Martin. I think that was made clear. We were very, very blunt in the discussion, I must say, and the consultation with the community was even blunter, to say the least. It was held in the ruins opposite the causeway in the Bellevue area before you get to the border, where we had started our Run for Freedom on sacred ground at the Diamond Estate. And I think it was very impactful to be sitting in the dark with lights pinpointed, hearing artists, seeing videos, and hearing the voices of community activists on the position of slavery, and in fact the audacity of the Dutch government to have the discussion in this manner.
Concerning the meeting with the State Secretary, so what is St. Martin's official position as far as slavery is concerned?
That's a very good question. Thank you. St. Martin has been since I'm here. I can vouch for, in the discussions we're having now, and what I didn't say in the opening statements is that looking at the effects of the enslavement of human people, the recognition that that was a disaster, a dehumanizing experience for the persons that went through it, and lives within the DNA of all of us who are descendants of them, and the way it is still perpetuated today in different ways. So while I was going through my various struggles from 2020 into date, and discussions with the Dutch government that you're in a partnership with, and explaining at times, or trying to explain, that the top-down directives, instructions, or conditions that are unreasonable with unreasonable timelines are all part of that, what was it called last night? I think in the US they call it privilege, white privilege. But with the awareness throughout the world, and especially what's been going on with Black Lives Matter, Europe could no longer continue to close their eyes. There are so many reports coming their way And as one of the community activists said yesterday, in every opportunity that the Dutch government, which in United Nations is the Kingdom of the Netherlands, had to make a statement on or against it, they refused. So there's been many opportunities, but now, lo and behold, a work group was instituted in 2020. It was in the midst of the pandemic. St. Martin did not get an opportunity to fully participate. We feel that we have enough research on the island. We have gaps in our research, but that's because a lot of our research is not on the island. And if the Dutch government is ready to have that discussion, then we need to be provided with the opportunity to provide our input officially, that is from our scholars, our people, and the government together or separately, however they want to, and ensure that that's taken along moving forward, because the recommendations of the report mentions, as I said, recognizing the atrocity that it was, a crime against humanity, apologizing for it, so giving atonement, and then talking about reparations. And that in the midst of a time when you're being told no liquidity support unless you continue to cut your civil servants, unless you continue to cut. So what are we talking about? So I'm hoping that with the start of this conversation, we can see the remnants of the colonial period still present in our current discussions and address them today, even as we discuss recognizing, atoning, and reparations. And with reparations, we do not consider the loans that have been instituted on us in a period of disaster to be part of reparations. That requires Kwijtschelding, and then we can talk reparations. So if they want to take along the loans as reparation, I'm not for that.
What else is happening on St. Martin, the government of St. Martin? Well, you would think that the Prime Minister would come to the Council of Ministers press briefing today and basically sound the alarm and say that there's no coalition agreement right now on the table, so therefore it's a minority government. But instead, the Prime Minister came, she gave her normal billboard announcements, and poof, nothing, zero, zip. Everything is fine in Phillipsburg. It looks like everything is okay, when it is not, because last time I checked, they have 7 members of parliament supporting the government. So for them to act as if that is not the case is downright disrespectful to the electorate. And I know I've been very nice because I've told you many times that it's all about the numbers. However, if you can't show the numbers on paper, that's when you have to be scared. Now, I'm not going to cause panic because according to Phillipsburg, everything is okay. But what I don't understand is the answer of the Prime Minister when I ask her about MP Ludmina de Wever going independent. Any concern? What's the position of the government? And this is what she said.
I think we said we'd refrain from the political discussions in the Council of Ministers press briefing. You caught me the last time. But today I'm not going to go into that. We did have support. We did have in all budget support, all of the others, majority support in Parliament. And as a coalition, we'll continue to have discussions as to how that will go. But as far as I know, we have a majority support in Parliament.
Why the f you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop f***ing lying. Always lying to me. You lying so much. You making it hard for me.
Yeah. With absolute no care in the world. We fine, we have support. No, you don't. Unless you could show me the support. Because due to the fact that MP Doran, Minister Doran, was saved by 8 members of Parliament, does not necessarily give you support for your government. That's why we have a coalition agreement. And now they are hiding behind the semantics of Well, actually, we don't have to show you a coalition agreement because as long as we have majority in parliament, according to us, because we're supposed to trust you, just like how we trust you with GB, just like how we trust you with so much things that's happening in St. Martin's, we're supposed to trust you that everything is fine. We can't have it on paper, not even a press conference with all members, the 8 members of parliament standing behind the Council of Ministers saying, hey, stop the panic. We got 8 members supporting this government. Here are all your ministers. We good. We're going to ride it out until elections 2024. But instead, you just hear nothing. The only voices you're hearing is the cries of the opposition, which that's what they do. No problem. But in the meantime, we have no type of communication from the government of St. Martin. What the hell is going on? I'm going to bring you back to a campaign promise made by the leader of the National Alliance, Sylvia Jacobs. And this is when she was hungry for the seat of Prime Minister. And this is what she said back in 2019, 18, 17. I don't know. I can't remember, but it was a while back. And listen to the passion of what she had for the people of St. Martin.
Hi, St. Martin. I am Sylvia Jacobs, your #1 candidate on the National Alliance slate. I have a vision for St. Martin, that St. Martin is an island nation with vast opportunities and possibilities that will give all her people the opportunity to be the very best that they can be. Join me in making that possible for St. Martin. It is therefore my mission to empower the people of St. Martin to see their own strengths, to see their own capabilities, to be able to pull themselves up and do what they can to make St. Martin great. With this, I am coming to you and explaining all the possibilities that the National Alliance under my leadership will be offering you. With our experience in putting the people first, we can assure you with a full mandate that we will focus on recovery for St. Martin, improving our economic development so that there is work for everyone, making sure our youth come first and that education is a lifelong opportunity for all, diversifying our economy, and making sure that we have sustainability as one of the main pillars of not just tourism, but our entire development. For true economic recovery to happen on St. Martin, we as a National Alliance will take that National Recovery Plan along with what we've been hearing from you in our communities. In our canvassing, we have heard instability, we have heard job creation, we have heard assistance with the roof building, and that is something the National Alliance is proud to have put on our 2017-18 budgets. We have a roof building program in place, rebuilding our airport and recreating that #1 landing that we have here on St. Martin is also a priority. Without a location for tourists to come in and be able to transport to other destinations, we are losing endless funds. We must prioritize the repair of our airport. We must continue to attract people to St. Martin. But in doing so, in repairing all these necessary infrastructure, we must also focus on the people. We cannot only improve what brings in the funds and not work on the heart and soul and the needs of our people. And that is where the National Alliance has proven to be different. I think that if you put your trust in the National Alliance, in Sylvia Jacobs and her team, you will see a marked difference for St. Martin.
So the question is, Madam Prime Minister, leader of the UP, tallest member of parliament, Rolando Bryson, the same people who you guys claim to represent, when, and again, when is it that we actually are going to get maybe a little press conference? Because since we can't ask in the press briefing, because the press briefing is only for government issues, can we get maybe a press release? Or can we get maybe a press conference? Do you think we are worth a press conference? You think it's possible that we can get the assurity that government is stable? The same stability that you have been preaching during the campaign all the time, and now the same people, the voters, the population, want assurity, and you can't give it to them because at the end of the day, you think you don't need to tell them. Because you had 8 members voted for a minister to stay on, does not mean you have support for your government. That's simple, that's clear. So it's either back in 2020 when Frankie Myers went independent, and he was like, oh, you know, I dropped my support for the government. 2 weeks later, a motion of no confidence was read out, and it was said, oh my God, we don't have a government because we kind of sort of have 8 members, but 1 dropped the support, therefore they have 7. So therefore, it's either they come out and say they have the support, or they call back new elections. Meanwhile, now the tables are turned, and they are just quiet. Let's hope nobody notices. We notice. We have a government or we don't have a government. Do we have support for this current Council of Ministers? Can we at least get that clear? That's all. Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.
We begin with the news. The Minister of VSA, Omar Otley, and the Inspectorate of Health told members of Parliament on Friday that St. Martin is working with an old Dutch law that is outdated when it comes to the importation of medication. Members of Parliament called a meeting. Well, the Committee for VSA decided to have a meeting for the first time of the year, or the second time of the year. They decided to have a meeting. And it was chaired, of course, by What? Oh, it was chaired by MP Bryson. I thought I was ready for the worst President of Parliament in St. Martin history line. And my script, people didn't even... What? So we don't have MP Heiliger Martin in the news today? No? But I feel so weird not saying it today. Can I just stick to the script? Okay. The tallest member of Parliament, Rolando Bryson, chaired the VSR committee today in Parliament. And in the committee meeting, it was discussed the reintroduction of semi-pharmaceutical products like Vicks, Bengay, Alcolado, and others for supermarkets. Of course, supermarkets are not allowed to sell those type of products for a while now because of the laws. The Inspector of Health stopped it a while ago. Before, you could go to a supermarket and just buy over-the-counter medication just like that, you know, paracetamol and all those type of things. But that is not possible anymore because of the laws that we have. So the Minister, Omar Otley, gave a presentation and basically gave the reason why it's not possible. Interesting stuff. Take a listen.
The quality and safety of medicine for sale of the supermarket cannot be guaranteed. No verification, source, quality, safety, or effectiveness. That is it, Mr. Chairman, for this agenda point.
Thank you, Minister, for the presentation. I think you've outlined, especially from a legislative perspective, what the reasoning, I guess, was behind, let's say, these products that I mentioned in my introduction being considered medicine. So that part is clear. I'm sure there will probably be maybe some other questions. If members of Parliament, you can indicate on the speakers list or here if you want to speak. We do have first MP De Weaver.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Minister, to you and your team, to my colleagues, to the persons in the tribune, the viewing and listening public. Thank you very much for the presentation. When you were ending it, you brought up one of the, I don't know if we should call it an advantage or disadvantage of globalization, but when production, manufacturing and production shifts from, let's say, what we would have known from, let's say, our sole supplier being in North America to other parts of the world, our how do you say, acceptable levels of what items to import gets a little bit muddled because companies are international, they're global, they're located around the world under one umbrella name. So as an example, I will go off and list a name such as Colgate, for instance. I'm sure people have noticed when you go to the supermarkets here, you see different languages in them. Very often I've seen beauty products as well as health, like hygiene products, basically being in a different language where it's not even in English. And one of the, I know personally, someone that was affected when they bought items from a supermarket, or doesn't matter where it is, where the item is a common day item, like a shampoo item, where it actually burned your hair. And you can hear a lot of stories like this.
Who came up with this policy that it can't be sold in the regular grocery stores and only pharmacies? Because my question to that would be essentially why? And here's the reason why I'm saying this, Minister, through you, Mr. Chairman. I think most oftentimes we forget that we border the friend side, that we attach to the friend side. In every grocery store, you can also get those products on the friend side too as well. But let me draw your attention to this. So we are talking about Icy Hot, we are talking about Vicks, we are talking about those sort of things. What about bleaching cream? I can go in Victor's and buy bleaching cream. Bleaching cream. And then in your presentation, you make mention of alleviation. I circle that, to alleviate. What about a cough drop? A sweet. It's to alleviate a sore throat. Where do we stop? But here's the thing, Mr. Chairman, and I brought it to your attention the last time when you were here concerning pharmacies. We don't have a 24-hour pharmacy. We have the one pharmacy in Maho that opens up, I think, until 10 o'clock. But take someone living all the way in Belvedere. In Belvedere, they will have to pass all the grocery stores that is open until 8 and 9 to go quite all the way down to Maho to get a little Vicks because they want to get a rub down because their child catch a cold or a draft. But let me show you what is even more dangerous. If you're saying it can't be sold, or it should not you, but the reason for it that it can't be sold, you know how I operate. This is a product that has been banned from St. Martin. For whatever reason, I don't know why. But we grew up on Buckley's. We grew up on Buckley's. But you can't find Buckley's nowhere, not even in the regular stores, not in the pharmacies, nowhere on St. Martin you can find Buckley's. Hold on. Buckley's. You know how I got Buckley's, Mr. Chairman? Amazon.com. Vicks, Amazon.com. Icy Hot, Amazon.com. I don't even need to go to the grocery store no more. So is the inspectorate coming to my house to check my online account to see if I'm ordering online? So that's what I'm asking. What is it exactly are we trying to prevent? That it can't be sold in stores and only in the pharmacy, or the health aspect for the society? Which one is it? It doesn't make sense. I went online because I realized Buckley's used to work for me. And I get it on Amazon. I can Google Amazon right now. I can Google Amazon right now. This is Amazon, Vicks. Here it is, Vicks. I can scroll down and you can find Buckley's.
I think that MP Emmanuel has a point. Even though these days he's just doing a bunch of crying. Like, Jesus, he ain't Savage Chris no more. He's like, Cry Baby Chris! That's going to be my name for him now, man. Cry Baby Chris! Anyway, one of the most interesting things of the meeting was a suggestion by Member of Parliament, MP Bryson.
See, from almost a common law perspective as just an over-the-counter product, but by definition, yes, it is indeed a medicine. But can we maybe identify some of those? And then what the government can do is actually say, no problem. We have what, 100 supermarkets on the island? You would like that permission? Well, it's going to cost you 1,000 guilders a year. to get that permission. You've just brought additional income to the Ministry of VSI and to the government. That maybe would be one of my suggestions.
Now, of course, his coalition partner and also fellow UP member, Cookie Bailani, was not for that, and he made it very clear. Take a look.
We don't want to be like a third world country. Let's move on. What points he raised up there are really valid. Second thing, what Chairman said, that income-wise, I don't want it to be 1,000 guilder. Ha 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 ha. You hardly sell these kind of medicines and you want to charge 1,000 guilders? No. Please don't get this into an income level, but yeah, a nominal fee.
Do not mess with the Indians. Do not mess with them. They're going to come for you, boy. You see, they was like, and you notice that? Ha ha. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha.
What was that? What was that? I don't understand. 1,000 guilders? Ha ha.
Ha ha.
He's just like, you want to break government, partner? You want to break government? You crazy?
Ha ha.
Go into the business now and say, listen, all you got to pay an extra 1,000 guilders just to sell some Vicks. No, no, no. He was like, no, 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 no. Anyway, one of the biggest highlights, of course, of the Parliament meeting, the committee meeting of Parliament was, of course, the fact that the concern for erectile dysfunctions. No, I'm serious. No, I didn't say I have one. I'm saying that it was a concern brought to you by Crybaby Chris. Take a look.
Here's the part that have me conflicted in terms of how are we going to adopt the bones of that law? Because then, if you are telling me that the drugs coming into the country comes to a registered legal wholesaler, then who is to regulate the registered legal wholesaler? Why I'm saying this then, Mr. Chairman, because, Mr. Chairman, erectile dysfunction is considered a disease. Then I'll have to ask the Honorable Minister if he ever been into a sex shop. Because in the sex shop, there's creams, there's rubs, there's pills, there's all sort of things to assist in that. So then that's what I'm asking, because I'm listening to what is being said, Mr. Chairman, that's why I'm asking the question. Who regulates the registered legal wholesaler? Because I have to ask the question. Because in that industry, there's a number of things that can be used to treat what is considered a disease. And if I listen to the presentation, we are talking about supplements, ailments, all sort of things. Then the question comes back again. Who is watching the one that's supposed to be watching what is coming in? If you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Chairman.
Wait a minute now, MP Emmanuel. What's going on? How do you know what they sell in the sex shop? What's happening? What's going on? Unless you want to know what is allowed and what's not allowed, I think we need to get a specialist on the show.
Hey! Did somebody say erectile dysfunction?
Oh, no. Oh, gosh. It's the former Minister of Theatre, Stuart Johnson. How are we doing, sir?
I'm an expert, Andrew. Me, hello. Mr. Dick, I'm an expert.
No, I am not calling you.
Is Mr. Erectile to you?
No, I'm not calling you that. Nope.
I'm the expert, Andrew. Call me the expert.
Okay, so what advice do you have for MP Emmanuel, former member of the Council of Ministers, Stuart Johnson?
I think he needs to come for a consultation, and I want to talk about it.
Okay, all right, that's enough. That's enough.
Hey!
Yeah, okay, no, we don't need we don't need that right now. All right. So yeah, that was basically discussed in the committee meeting. Of course, another topic that was discussed is Member of Parliament Rolando Bryson also made mention of the fact that Alcolado is not being sold just so, and he made sure mention it in the meeting.
There's also another thing, especially from the Latin American community on the island and also others that make use of this product, which is Agua de Florida. That has always been something from young that, we call it Agua de Florida. It's very, Florida water. Okay, I didn't know. No, that's an English term. Hey, my mother's Colombian, and that's how she taught me it. But that water in itself is something that's was very common in the supermarkets, but I don't see it as common in pharmacies. As a matter of fact, some pharmacies don't even carry it. They might have alcolado or different versions of it, but that specific one, they might not. So now it's not in supermarkets, and it's also not in many pharmacies. So if the pharmacies basically choose not to carry a product, it now has disappeared from the market entirely. So that is also a a concern, specifically that type of product. What happens if the pharmacy chooses not to carry such a product? Then it becomes completely unavailable within the country.
I know for sure the Spanish and the Haitian community is very happy with these questions from MP Bryson, particularly because, wait, what do they use Florida water for? We need some Florida water for this government. All of this whole government. Just throw it on them. Throw it on everybody.
Hey!
No. Anyway, no. So I'm just saying, like, this government needs some Florida water, particularly because, they need to see their future, see if it lasts. I don't, MP Bryson, know what they actually do with Florida water. If you only know MP Bryson, you would not be asking those type of questions. No, you won't. No, you will not. All right, let's see that. Let's hope that the government make it until the end of its mandate, because you just give the opposition some ideas. You see Auntie Sarah at night going like, government go fall, government go fall. And then, of course, you're going to have right next to her, the worst president of parliament in St. Martin history, Krisha Helaga Martin. Yay, I finally get to put it in. Yay. All right. Speaking about the worst, let's go on to our other topic, which is the question hour concerning the Minister of Romy, Egbert Doran. He was in Parliament, and he was to answer questions concerning GEBE. Our water and electricity company that is doing such a great job these days. Of course, the management of GEB was there. The temporary manager of GEBE, Shireen Daniel, was part of that panel of the Ministry of Romy, because, of course, it had to do with GEBE. The current temporary manager is on sick leave until further notice, and the temporary manager and soon to be CEO, if she passed the screening and she signs her contract, is Shireen Daniel. She made a statement, and that statement, I don't know, it gave me some Cruella vibes. You remember the Disney movie Cruella, the 101 Dalmatians? Yeah, she gave me like that type of vibe. I don't understand. Like, it was kind of like, Anyway, take a look.
As you're aware, my name is Dr. Shireen Daniel. I'm currently the acting TM, replacing Mr. Temer due to him being on sick leave until further notice. NVGB experienced a glitch yesterday, which somewhat caused a frenzy. And as a result, NVGB had to basically hit the media, put communication forward, and explain to the people of St. Martin what occurred. What did occur? On June the 7th, NVGB proceeded to start to bill their customers as the norm, as we get back to normalcy. We bill the consumers based on two methods. One goes out via hand delivery with our meter guys. The second one goes via mail for convenience. March bill went out via mail, as well as April bill. As well as March and April bill went out via email on June the 7th as well. However, what took place was that during GB's testing phase, we were testing certain of our bills, certain of the numbers, etc., etc., etc. And again, we had a computer glitch where a large bill went out to an exorbitant amount of consumers or customers, which somewhat caused a frenzy, because that bill was the consumption of, for example, February 2021 to March 2022. Some was March 2021 to March 2022. We asked the people of St. Martin to disregard those high bills because, as you know, GB was hit with a ransomware, Black Bite attack. GB is gearing up to normalcy. However, we are having some hiccups. And at the end of the day, GB will continue to be transparent GB is owning our shortcomings. However, again, this is a part of the process to gearing back into normalcy. With that large bill, there was a bill of March that came into effect that was emailed as well. There was also a bill of April that was emailed. Those two were correct. And if anyone have concerns over the March and the April bill, NVGB right now is open to the public. We have even extended our hours. We open at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. We close at 4:30 in the afternoon. We are also open on Saturdays from 8 to 12:30 because it's GB's intention to restore the trust, restore the confidence, restore the peace of the organization with the people of St. Martin. But we are going through hiccups. It has our utmost intention. We're working towards that normalcy, and we're just asking for your patience.
So, incompetence at its best. They continue to, of course, deal with this particular situation. I think that sooner or later, the government can do much better when it comes to the management of GB. I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
That does it for the Late Night Show. Thank you so much for watching. Until tomorrow, do have a safe and pleasant one. Bye-bye.